What is up, guys? We are here to do another draft on Underdog because, well, that's what this is. It's off season, which means it's best ball season. But that doesn't just mean best ball mania. You've seen us do some best ball mania 5 contests already. I think we snuck in a puppy here and there. And then there's the eliminator, which you may know about. But now there's another new contest. So we want to make sure that, first of all, you're aware. Second of all, you know what the difference is between these contests. And then third, you can actually, number one, get to see us do this and talk strategy, but also maybe even join us if you got a quick trigger finger. We know some of you guys are regulars here on Underdog, and maybe you can jump in the same draft. So it's called Weekly Winners. If you can see that right there. Of course, BBM 5, that's the big contest, but Weekly Winners is unique because, not surprisingly, you could win every week. So that's the main thing I think we're looking at here is you don't have to wait for the entire NFL season to be over to actually get some prizes, which is kind of nice, I think.
Yeah, definitely nice. Definitely feels a little like, I guess, safer of a tournament. So for those of you who maybe don't want to, drop $25 in like what's basically a very top-heavy tournament like Best Ball Mania, this one they pay out every single week. $100K paid out every week. $20,000 the first, top 4,000 on the week get money, make money. So yeah, I feel like it's a little more like I said, like a little less risky. Like there's a better chance that if you draft a solid team, maybe you won't win a week because that's still hard, but you should do fairly well and not lose your entire buy-in.
Yeah, that's always a good thing. Look, I'll just say this: it's best ball. It's always going to be preach upside, right? Upside.
Right. Yes,
but I think in this case, I mean, do you feel like it's even more so just a guy who could just go off any given week? Because if he goes off that 1 week, I mean, I guess what I'm trying to say is this where we just have to draft Gabe Davis and hope for the best?
No, I mean, look, there's upside. Like anybody, like just go back if you want, if you don't believe me, and go to fantasy football scoring leaders by week last week, and you will see random names who went off every single week. Just random dudes who happen to go off. So having like a guy like Gabe Davis who just happens to go off once or twice or 3 times a week, okay, maybe that 1 week, but not to mention, is he even going to do that anymore? He's in Jacksonville now, and they just drafted Brian Thomas Jr., and they have Christian Kirk, and they have Evan Ingram. I don't even know if he's going to do that anymore. So no Gabe Davis for me.
All right. I tried. We'll see. We'll see what happens when the draft starts, though. But like I will say this: but when you get toward the end of the draft, that's where you take more swings like that versus a guy. Well, he could get the job. The job doesn't matter. Like it really doesn't. In this case, yeah, you want somebody who can help you more than just 1 week. But by the same token, it's like if he just gives you 2 or 3 really strong weeks, he'll be more valuable than the guy who gets you like 7 to 8 points every week. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's all about that weekly upside. And this is more so the case than even in your regular best ball formats. I mean, remember last year, a guy like Royce Freeman had a week where he scored 2 touchdowns at 100 yards and somehow looked really good because he just happened to need to get a lot of carries. I mean, guys like that are draftable in this format. I think more so than your best ball medias. But everything else is standard Underdog. You got half PPR, the roster settings, 1 quarterback. You're going to have 2 running backs, 3 receivers, a tight end, flex, bench, all of that good stuff. You're going to see in a second once we get started here exactly what it looks like. And so don't forget that this is a tournament. And yes, there will be season long now. They've extended it. At first, it wasn't like that. Season long a tournament, but you can also win every single week, which is the nice thing. Total of 1.7 million in prizes, 100K paid out each week. And the breakdown, you can get to it if you're on Underdog and you join, which, by the way, leads me to the fact that if you're not on Underdog, it's a great time to join because Weekly Winners is out. Best Ball Mania has already been out. You can hopefully get 1 more week to try to squeeze in a puppy or 2 because that is about to fill up. I'm sure they will replace it with another one. But yeah, use code ENDGAME. If you haven't tried an Underdog, get there now. Go to underdogfantasy.com or just download the app and make sure you use code ENDGAME because you get now a special pick for those picks if you do MLB picks, NBA picks, anything else, of course, upcoming season NFL picks, and up to $250 in bonus cash. So that's also even better than last year. So this is a great time to try Underdog if for whatever reason you haven't done so yet. All right. We're ready to jump in a weekly winner, though.
I'm ready. Count us down.
All right. So let's join. Of course, we're trying to jump in the same draft here. If anybody else here is ready to join us, let's do it. 3, 2, 1, join. Yes.
All right. Looks like we're waiting for 5.
All right. Anybody on there? Good evening, Gabriel. How are you doing? Anybody else here?
And we're filled. I think a lot of endgamers filled it. Or do we still need one more? Nope, we're filled.
All right, we'll see. Yeah, hopefully this is the winning draft. You never know. First one, last one, any draft in between. You never know when you're going to get those winning picks in. So let's see. Any familiar names? Yep. There he is. Miguel at the 6. Clayton. Being quiet today, but he got into the 7th spot. You got 8th. I got 11th. So we got 4 endgame. Bam, in here.
I like it. Let's do this. Let's get some weekly winners.
All right.
I mean, think about it. If you just win 1 week, your season is pretty much made, right? Like $20K in your pocket, you're happy.
Really. If you are the weekly winner for one of those weeks, it was well worth it. And you were telling me, we're talking about this a little bit beforehand, breaking down. You just have to place in the top, what was it, like 4,000 just to get some money back, and that's just any week.
If at least in 1 week you finish in the top 4,000, you get $7, which isn't your buy-in back because of course we bought in for 10. But I mean, hey, top 4,000. I feel like as long as you draft a halfway decent team and you don't just get crushed by injuries, you should probably finish in the top 4,000 at least a few times over the season, right? I think maybe not. I mean, I would think that doesn't seem that high.
I would think. I mean, if you know what you're doing, I mean, yeah, there's a lot of sharp drafters and Underdog because that's the crowd it draws. But at the same time, we got the endgame community here with the sharpest, and we're gonna get some practice in here. Which, by the way, Cody is Eagles fan 87, so at least 5 of the 12 teams here are represented from our endgame community. That's pretty nice.
That is nice. Well done, guys.
All right.
This has got to be proof or it didn't happen, right? Proof or it never happened.
Exactly. We got 1, 2, 3, 4 in a row. So Miguel, Clayton, you, and then Cody.
Well, John Smith saying he got Garrett Wilson for Stephon Diggs straight up in Dynasty.
I mean, from a Bills fan or what? I guess a Texans fan now. Or why is somebody doing this? Why is somebody?
What is going on? This is like proof or it didn't. We need to see what is it? Picks or it didn't happen.
Yeah, picture screenshot for sure. Man, if you got Garrett Wilson,
there's no way.
Props.
No way somebody gave you Garrett Wilson straight up for Stephon Diggs.
Man, props to you for that. Okay. Yeah. Clayton went Bijan, you went Breece Hall.
Yeah, I feel like I keep getting stuck in this spot like 8, 9, and when Breece Hall falls to me, I feel like I just have to pull the trigger on Breece Hall there. Or Bijan if he falls. Yeah, I feel like I just have to pull the trigger there.
Gonna buck ADP slightly, although actually not really. I guess he's going 11. I'm gonna go running back. I'm gonna go Gibbs.
Wow, over Puka, huh?
Yeah, we'll see. Because I still think I only got 2 more picks before my next one. I think I'll be happy with any of the receivers left there.
Saying his opponent wanted the stack. Apparently, his opponent had CJ Stroud. And I almost said Josh Allen. It's so weird. It's so weird to think Stephon Diggs with CJ Stroud. It's like just instantly you just think Josh Allen. So apparently his opponent had CJ Stroud and wanted the stack like so badly that he gave up a 23 33-year-old wide receiver for a 30-year-old wide receiver. Okay.
Yeah. The question is, how long are you going to have that stack? I mean, how many productive years, if even one, do we think Stephon Diggs is having in Houston? I don't know.
Like, wouldn't it have been better to go out and try to get like Brandon Ayuk or I mean, not Brandon Ayuk. Wouldn't it be better to try to have gone out and got Nico Collins or Tank Dell? I mean,
right. That makes
you can
more
get
sense.
those guys for Garrett Wilson for sure.
Yeah, in Dynasty, that definitely makes more sense. All right, I see what you're doing here, Clayton. The very non-hypothetical Dynasty question, and in some anonymous Superflex Dynasty league. Let's let the crowd decide. Should we do this? Should we crowdsource answers here?
Sure, crowdsource the answer. Which side do you guys want? Christian McCaffrey and Drake London or CeeDee Lamb? Dynasty PPR.
Let the people speak and say what they think of that deal. All right, guys, comment. Which side would you prefer? Or just look. Just the question: is that a fair deal? Do you think the way that is right there? Dynasty, Superflex, CMC, and Drake London, CeeDee Lamb. What side do you prefer? We got one vote for Lamb. That's Ronnie. We got one vote for CMC and London from Kevin. Interesting.
Another CMC. So we got Lamb from Ronnie, CMC in London. CMC in London. As an Eagles fan, neither. Gabriel wants Lamb. CMC in London.
Split decision. Say and
Gabriel,
it's fair. All right. It seems like it must be pretty fair.
Our double says the CMC London side. Here's my thing. Like, I think it is probably close to fair. I think the CMC London side is slightly more valuable. I know Lamb we know is already a stud. We don't know. We got a couple more for Lamb. A-Rod saying the two side. But here's the issue, because this is a team that Pierre and I actually co-manage. The issue is our running backs are Christian McCaffrey, and then I think we have like Raheem Mostert, Brian Robinson Jr., and then like some backups. Like those are our running backs.
Yep.
So it's like, okay, yes, like Lamb, certainly look, as good as Drake London will ever be, will he ever be better than CeeDee Lamb? Probably not, because CeeDee Lamb is just a wide receiver one. So it's pretty much impossible to be better than the wide receiver one. So certainly Lamb is the safer side, because you're getting like a top 5, every year, top 5 wide receiver. But if Drake London ends up being, let's say, a top 10 or even a top 12 or 15 wide receiver, then the CMC London side looks significantly better. So I think we needed something else thrown in, like a running back. The problem is the only running backs Clayton has are, I think, Jahmyr Gibbs, which is too much, Jonathan Brooks, who I doubt he's going to give us Jonathan Brooks, and I think it was like Trey Benson. I think those were like his only running backs. So,
yeah, if you want to throw in Brooks or Benson, then I think we can take that.
So what are the chances? Okay, what are the chances Drake London is top 5 this year? Like, I don't think any of us expect top 5 Drake London, right?
Top 5? No, that's a little aggressive. I mean, I do think top 10, which is why I'm happy to take him early second round. But yeah, top 5 is pushing it because, again, unless there's injuries, which could happen, because, right, this did happen to Justin Jefferson last year. This did happen to Jamar Chase. Let's just not assume injury. Is he going to leapfrog any of those first-round receivers? He probably won't. I mean, I had Garrett Wilson ahead of him. Maybe Puka lags a little bit. I think it's possible, but I don't guarantee it. AJ Brown, is Drake London really going to put a bigger name on AJ Brown? No. So top 5 is too aggressive.
Yeah, top 5 too aggressive. And okay, he has Clayton saying he's got Bijan and Brooks. Certainly Bijan would be ridiculous to give us Bijan and Lamb. That's just now we are smashing you in that trade, obviously. He says he really wants CMC. I mean, okay, But we need something. We can't just give away CMC because again we're the defending champs and we won. I don't want to say we won easily, but we won pretty easily in that league. We have a pretty
easy,
pretty stout team. It's not like we're looking at the future here. We think we can win again this year, so we need to be able to replace CMC to at least some degree. Like I know we're not going to get a CMC, but we need to get something at least that doesn't just, turn us into a team that can't compete anymore.
Yeah, that's the thing. We're not looking to get younger or rebuild. We're defending the crown. So it doesn't really make sense to give up really CMC at all unless it's a major win. So I don't even know if it would make sense to get a guy like Brooks or Benson who will only help us marginally this year, if even maybe second half of the year. Yeah, I just don't know if it's a good fit. So
this is a terrible spot. Although it is weekly winners, so I think in this format, I'm going to prioritize QB a little more than I normally do. And I'm going to look for those huge QB spike weeks I can get from Jalen Hurts.
Yeah, I actually thought that I don't love taking QB early, although I do find myself taking probably more than ever before in some of the slow drafts I'm doing. I got a couple of Lamar Jackson to stack with either Zay or Andrews. I've got several Kyler Murray, Trey McBride stacks, probably too many. And I did just take CJ Stroud. So I'm going to prioritize that more this year. So if you hadn't taken Hurts, I would have. Now, the question is right here, is it too early? Do I take Mahomes? Because I don't know if I take Mahomes here or my next pick, if all the way when I go back to pick 59 and 62, am I going to be able to combine him with a Worthy or a Hollywood? They might both be gone. So I'm taking the risk there.
Well, you don't have to worry about taking Mahomes.
Decision made. Let's go with a huge upside of DJ Moore.
Yeah, I actually did consider like Nico Collins and DJ Moore here because again, this is weekly winners. I mean, I know in best ball you're always looking for spike weeks anyways, but you don't want guys that are just going to give you like a few spike weeks, not at this stage of the draft. Like you want guys that can help you a lot of weeks. So I did consider them because in this format, because again, it's weekly winners, you're just trying to win a week, right? You're like, hey, if I just have one awesome week where everybody spikes on the same week, I'm golden. I did consider them here a little more, but for the same reason for Jalen Hurts, though, because it's like, give me a QB who can spike 30 plus points on any given week and be one of the top scorers in fantasy for that week.
Yeah. Yeah.
You did snipe me on Devonta Smith, though. I was looking for the stack there.
Oh, sorry. I didn't think about that.
Nah, you're good.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure he would make it back to me.
With Mahomes gone and then those two running backs gone, like I'm just going to go receiver. That's where the value was. I considered Stroud. I almost took Stroud, but I don't think I would have gotten Tank Dell. And so I'll just wait. Oh, there goes Stroud.
Yes, I know the pain. The pain of the slow drafts. The pain of the slow drafts. Joined an 8-hour draft 5 hours ago, and we're only on pick 8. Oh, don't worry. Don't worry.
That's actually pretty fast.
Yeah, that's actually not bad, honestly.
Yeah, just assume you're only going to pick once, maybe every 24 hours, and then you won't be disappointed.
Yeah.
What is up, Young Money? As always, fashionably late. Not too late though.
What's up?
Gotta get in one of these days, Money.
Yes.
All right, Ronnie with a Superflex Dynasty question. Who's worth dropping, Mac Jones or DTR?
DTR for sure. Like, I feel like, I mean, Dorian Thompson-Robinson was awful when he got a chance to start last year. He was horrible. Look, I know Mac was terrible too, but I feel like Mac is the kind of guys that NFL teams will kind of like Baker Mayfield, like NFL teams won't give up on him, right? Like he'll be one of those guys that somehow always finds a job for at least a little while. Dorian Thompson-Robinson, I mean, even if he becomes a starter again, what do you get? He was awful.
Yeah, I mean, they brought Joe Flacco off the street in order to take over for him, and it worked. He was really good, and Thompson-Robinson was not. Yeah, I guess like you're saying, Mac Jones, maybe you can just say it was just a show there in New England, and nothing really went well. So maybe in a new environment, who knows? Things break right. But like you said, just the fact that even though draft stock may not matter anymore because he's with a new team and it's been a couple of years, this is a former first rounder. So there's always potential.
Teams talk themselves into QB potential every year because they're desperate, right? They're desperate. They'll talk themselves into, whoever, right? So as long as that quarterback has shown some potential, which I feel like Mac Jones, he had moments where you look at him and say, okay, maybe this guy could be an NFL QB. He had a lot of moments where you're like, this guy can't be an NFL QB. Dorian Thompson-Robinson didn't have a single moment where you're like, yeah, this guy might be able to be a starting QB one day. Like, no, not a single moment. So Mac Jones will probably get a chance somewhere eventually. And if not, I mean, if something, who is he with again this year? I totally forget.
Mac, he's a Jag now.
That's right. So if something happens to Trevor Lawrence, he will be the next man up for sure. So
yeah. I mean, I guess it's not the worst situation for him, right? It's a team that passes a lot. Who knows?
Wow, Tank falling that far. I almost took him in my last pick.
Yeah, that's surprising. I feel like I've seen him fall a little bit more week by week. We'll see.
I'm going to have to start drafting a lot of Tank Dell if he's going to fall that far. That's ridiculous. That's too much. That's too much. Well, how is Stephon Diggs in the 3rd round, Nico in the 4th, and then Tank's in the 6th?
Yeah, that's the weird thing, and that's what somebody pointed out earlier. Kevin, he's like Team 2, unaware that Stephon Diggs was being traded. I think a lot of people just see the name and they associate, their fantasy glory from the past. Some people are going to say, hey, now he's got CJ Stroud. That's going to be even better, as if as if Josh Allen was the problem.
Yeah, that's so. It's like, yeah, I can get behind that when like your quarterback was Desmond Ridder and Taylor Heineke. I can be like, hey, he's got Kirk Cousins now. It's going to be better. I can't get behind it's going to be better because he went from Josh Allen to CJ Stroud. Like,
no,
I can't get behind that.
Okay, let's see here. Pick 60. I do not love any of these running backs.
Whoever Mongols did get the Mahomes Hollywood stacks. That's nice. It's nice.
Yeah, that is a pretty nice pair there. All right, I'm gonna go receiver again. Honestly, right after this coming round here, after these receivers get taken, you see a bunch of rookies and a bunch of veterans who are maybe a little bit past prime age, all lumped together.
Well, thankfully, I've gone. I guess hero RB. They go Brees in the 1st.
Tight end or running back? Tight end or running back?
All right. So Clayton's saying since I took Terry after him, it was between Amari and Terry. He doesn't have any Amari shares. in a vacuum, I like Terry better this year.
Between Amari and Terry, we had a very very spirited discussion in one of the Dynasty leagues this afternoon about Deshaun Watson, and Clayton is not a fan of Deshaun Watson. So kind of surprised that you did take Amari, because if you think Deshaun Watson is, basically hot garbage, then assume you wouldn't want Amari Cooper. But between the two, I think it's pretty close. I think I like in a weekly winner format. I think I might slightly prefer Cooper, but it's pretty close.
And then John says, what if Drake London becomes the next JJ because Kirk Cousins loves throwing to his wide receiver one?
Well, that's the thing. But to me, it's not so much like, oh, Kirk Cousins is there, he makes Drake London valuable. To me, it's more like, oh, Drake London finally has a quarterback who can throw the ball. Like now he can finally explode, right? You know what I'm saying? Like it didn't have to be Kirk Cousins. It could have almost literally been anybody else.
True. Well, not anybody else, but anybody like
anybody else.
Anybody good. Anybody good.
Right. J-Hop asking how to join one of our leagues. One of our redraft leagues. It's going to be a while till we put those out, because obviously it's a while till football season. Just in case you're asking about this, it's a weekly winner from Underdog, in case you're not sure. Just want to clarify. So we jumped in one together. We got 5 people online here. Almost half this draft is filled with endgame. So if you're just on when we go live, you just join in. Then you can join us with this. We are going to have several endgame leagues again, and we got several endgame dynasty leagues, which I know we kept talking about. Those are just continuation. We might have some spots every once in a while, right? We got a spot open up. But if you want to join the endgame redraft league, wait probably till, I don't know, late July, maybe early August. We'll start putting that out there. So just wait for the word on that. Interesting. What do you think about this? Lawrence saying to win best ball, feels like you have to have your guys and just have different variations of teams, guys being the core. So kind of stick with your gut and take your guys you really believe in. Or, I mean, I know we talk differentiation, but is it possible to maybe differentiate too much? Do you ever say like, well, I don't have any shares, so I'll take a guy? Or I think what Lawrence is saying, like, no, forget it. If you don't like a guy, don't take him. Take the guys you believe
in. I used to be just like Lawrence, but that was back before the tournaments. The problem with this, and I certainly think you need to have your guys, and they should be the guys you have the most exposure to for sure. But look at last year. What if like you were completely anti Kyren Williams because you're like, he's a plotter, right? Cam Akers, whatever. Cam Akers is going to be the starter, and you didn't get any Kyren Williams. You probably did not win. Like, it's just a fact. You probably didn't. You almost needed, like, if you didn't have guys like CeeDee Lamb, because when you think about fantasy football, especially like in a best ball tournament like this, there's not a lot of guys that really you can say, because I had him, I won. You know, you look at last year, it was like Josh Allen at quarterback, CeeDee Lamb, obviously Christian McCaffrey. Obviously, I just talked about it with Kyren Williams, Puka Nacua. Like, you know, the guys that were, you know, even Tyreek Hill, because he didn't have a good finish to the season, probably didn't, I'm guessing was not on a lot of championship teams. Maybe Breece Hall, if you somehow made it with Breece Hall, like if you advanced with Breece Hall somehow, which wasn't easy, then maybe Breece Hall. But there just really weren't a lot of guys that you could say, you know, they won. And you have to have at least one of those guys. You don't have to have them all, of course, on one team. If you have them all on one team, I mean, okay. See, you know, good game, tip of the cap, see you next season. We got no chance. But you almost have to have at least one of those guys. So you don't want to, like, potentially miss out on one of them because you are like, oh, like come on, Puka Nacua, 5th round draft pick. Cooper Kupp's the guy there. Like, I'm not drafting Puka Nacua, and then you miss out, right? So I certainly agree with like the year guys, and they should be the core of your teams, and you should have the most exposure to them. But at the same time, like, I don't want to have zero exposure to guys that have a path. Now, if it's somebody random who comes out of nowhere, like a 4th string running back because like the first 3 guys get hurt, okay, it's fine because nobody has that guy. So it's okay. But if there's a guy that has a path, you don't want to have 0% just in case this is his year.
Yeah. Then it's funny when we talk about those outliers and the I don't know where guys. They feel like the Rams are the team that really just threw everybody off last year. The two out of nowhere guys who dominated their positions, Kyron Williams and Puka. But yeah, I agree. I do sometimes force myself to take a player that I really don't believe that much in, or I think, okay, yeah, there's talent there, maybe there's a situation, but I just don't think it'll happen. But I don't want to be left out in the cold there. Especially now, I say that because I'm doing a lot of best ball drafts. Like if you're only doing one fantasy football league this season, you're going to take only the players you believe in. If you are in 2 leagues, yeah, you're going to get your guys. But if you're doing best ball, you should be doing more than just one draft, and you should be definitely differentiated.
Yes, definitely. Like, yeah, if you're just gonna do one draft or just a few drafts, then yeah, get your guys. It's fine. But if you're gonna play in these big tournaments, like the weekly winners, if you only wanted to do a few teams, it's probably fine. Because again, it's not, you're just trying to win a week or do well in a week. But if you're going to play in like the big tournaments like Best Ball Mania, I do think it's just such a huge advantage to be able to have a ton of teams and give yourself some exposure to guys that, again, you may not like them. You may be like, I don't know about them, but you also like, hey, maybe he'll be the guy this year that surprises us all.
Right. And so, well, like in of course, best ball, you also draft differently than redraft. I'm not going to take a whole lot of Christian Watson, who I've been burned by repeated times, but best ball, absolutely. Is there one random week where he's actually healthy and Jordan Love will throw 3 touchdowns and 2 will go to Christian Watson? Probably. And there you go. Maybe I win that week because my other players do well. So that's why I'm taking that stack. I'm not going to do a whole lot of that in redrafts. Probably not at all. I don't even know if I really like Jordan Love as a starting quarterback weekly. If I'm going to wait on a quarterback, I might as well really wait. I could still get to or somebody later, but it's weekly winners. Just give me that 1 week, Christian Watson. Just 1 week. Keep that hamstring cobbled together. Get some tape and tape it up.
I'm sure he'll do that. All right, here's an interesting dynasty question: Pitts or Bowers?
Oh man. I mean, I kind of think I guess you don't have to, but I think you gotta go with Bowers for right now. It's like the upside we don't know versus the upside we have seen not happen yet. It's like, what's going to happen when Kirk Cousins isn't there and it's Michael Penix or whoever else they've drafted because he's already 30 years old and hasn't played a game yet. It's like Bowers has got more years ahead of him to become what we want him to become that Pitts has not yet become. Like this year, who do I like better? Pitts. But Dynasty, I think I'm going to go with the younger player with the greater upside. If Bowers is really that unicorn, I mean, you're going to want him because, yeah, I'm not thrilled by Aiden O'Connell either, but I'm pretty sure he's not going to be the quarterback next year.
Well, we never know. I'll say I like the fact that he has Cousins and Michael Penix. I do like that. And okay, I totally understand this feeling, but you're chasing the upside with Bowers too. Don't pretend like you're not chasing the upside with Bowers. You're chasing the upside with both. Like we have never seen Brock. Remember, Kyle Pitts was a better prospect, or I mean, maybe you could debate Bowers was a better prospect than Pitts, but maybe it's not a slam dunk. So we're chasing the upside with both these guys. Kyle Pitts is still only 23 years old. He's less than 2 years older than Brock Bowers. He has Kirk Cousins this year. He's got Michael Penix if something should happen to Kirk Cousins. Yeah, you're chasing the upside either way. I'm still going Pitts, but I'm okay with Bowers too. I mean, they're both risky. You can't act like one guy's not risky. They're both risky. Brock Bowers is about to be a rookie tight end playing with Aiden O'Connell or Gardner Minshew. Like, you can't tell me he's in a smash spot here.
No. And I'll say this. Look, I think this year, no more excuses. It's make or break for Kyle Pitts. He has a legit quarterback, new coaching staff. Can't blame Arthur Smith anymore. Can't blame Desmond Ridder or Heineke or whoever they have. Can't blame usage. Last year, he was hurt half the year. He just didn't, say anything. Okay, fine. This year, no more excuses. So if it doesn't happen this year for Pitts, the truthers need to just fall off completely.
Then it's done. Oh yeah, then he's done. But again, my argument is like, you can't if you want Bowers because it's like, hey, at least we don't know with Bowers yet. Okay, that's fine. You're like maybe, right? Maybe with Bowers, but you can't say that like you're giving up on Pitts because we haven't seen it yet, because we haven't seen it from Bowers either. If you're like, hey, at least we haven't seen Bowers bust, okay, that's fair. Like, you're like, I'm just going to take the guy who hasn't busted yet. Okay. But you can't say like one guy's busted and one guy hasn't, because one guy hasn't played in the NFL yet. And yeah, again, it's not like Brock Bowers is walking into a great situation, right? I mean, it's either Aiden O'Connell or Gardner Minshew. And we got some comments when I did a video a while back where I said I liked Michael Pittman because the offense will be better with Anthony Richardson. And even Young Money dropped a comment and said the Colts were top 10 in scoring last year. I said, yeah, because they scored a bunch of rushing touchdowns. They had 18 passing touchdowns, which was like only 7 teams had less in the NFL. Like whether it's Gardner Minshew or Aiden O'Connell, how many passing touchdowns are the Raiders really going to have this year? Yeah.
I swear it's not because we were talking about him. I had him queued up because I waited on tight end. I'm going to take Bowers in this format, which I'll say I don't have any Brock Bowers in any of my other underdog drafts. But if he does come on late in the season, if he does have one of those big plays, big games, then I think, look, I would prefer him in a best ball than, let's say, Dalton Schultz, who is solid sometimes, but never going to have a huge game because he's got so many receivers around him. Cole Kmet would have been really tempting, but now he's got 3 good receivers around him. The target competition. Dallas Goedert, good pick, but he's got 2 good receivers, but also because I already had Devontae Smith. So,
I had to get Goddard because you sniped me on Devonta Smith, so I had to get Goddard. And another thing I'll say about Pitts, and then we could be done with Kyle Pitts. Kyle Pitts had over 1,000 yards as a rookie. Sam Laporta did not even have 900 yards last year. Travis Kelce as a rookie, I think, had like 500 yards. Travis Kelce didn't even hit 1,000 yards till he was like 25 years old. And it was like year 3 or something. I mean, like, people say like Kyle Pitts has been bad. It's like, no, he was good his rookie year. It's just, okay, the hype for Brock Bowers right now is nowhere near what the hype was for Kyle Pitts. Not even close. Like, people were legit saying Kyle Pitts could be the 101 in Superflex Dynasty rookie drafts. They were saying that. I wasn't, but people were actually saying that. Like, the hype for Kyle Pitts was 10 times more than the hype is for Brock Bowers right now. So when he went out there and only had 1,000 yards, but only scored 1 touchdown, people were like, he busted. Just because the hype was out of control for him that rookie year. Now, certainly year 2 was not going well before he hurt his knee. And obviously last year he was bad. So I get all that. But we can't act like Kyle Pitts has only been bad since he came into the league. He had 1,000 yards as a rookie.
No, I'm not on or off Kyle Pitts. I'm wait and see, take a swing on his upside. It's like last year, right? Just like last year. We're like, oh, let's see. I mean, maybe he could be better, and he wasn't. But just partly because of the offense. Now, I mean, mainly because of the offense, right? The quarterback situation. Yeah, I get it. There's no excuses this year, but I'm not going to go all in, head over heels. Okay, he's a top 5 tight end. This is it. This is when no, that would be pretty foolish.
Although I do like that Kevin is coming around on this. He likes to play in 36 leagues to triple his chances of winning just one. I like that he's coming around. There you
That's
go.
how it works. The more it's like the lottery, more tickets you buy, the better chance to win.
Yeah, I mean, why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you?
All right, where are we at? We're around 11. Let's see. What's your build at right now? You got 1252. I'm at 1351. All right, you're happy so far with what's falling to you?
Yeah, I mean, I'd be happier if I had gotten Devonta Smith, and I would have been happier if I was hoping Jaden Daniels would fall to me, so I could stack him with Terry. But it's okay. I can wait on QB. I've got Hurts, so I don't need to rush QB. I like my wide receivers and my running back so far. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with this team.
That's good. Man, I was gonna say Brian B-Rob there was great value, but somebody just took him, of course.
All right, let's rate John's Dynasty team. It's a 12-man, 2 flex PPR. He's got, I guess not super flex though. Herbert is his QB. Brees Hall, Etienne is his running backs. That's pretty nice. AJ Brown, Garrett Wilson, Olave and London is his wide receivers. Andrews is his tight end. I got to give this. Man, I think Herbert in Dynasty still has plenty of value. I wish he wasn't stuck with Jim Harbaugh and no wide receivers. But I think I still got to give this like either 8.5 or a 9. That is great.
That is great for single QB. You got Herbert. Herbert is perfectly startable. Like I know I'm down on him, but I think I'm still okay with him. But in Dynasty, especially because this year, yeah, maybe they won't pass that much, but he'll still get you by, and that could grow. Hey, maybe Lad McConkey is him. Maybe Quentin Johnson actually looks like an actual NFL wide receiver this year. It's possible. So they could surprise us. You never know. Look, there you go. Josh Palmer, perfectly serviceable. All right.
I was really hoping I'd get Cousins here to stack with Pitts because the double tight end stack, but no Cousins for me.
It was Miguel. Man, Cousins. Look, we were just talking about Herbert Cousins. Herbert's still on the board, but Cousins got taken. Let's see. This is where I'll start to say that if Herbert's still there and falls to me about 10 spots after ADP, I think I will pull the trigger because I'd much rather have Herbert than like Aaron Rodgers, Baker Mayfield, Deshaun Watson.
Maybe. I don't even know.
No?
I don't even know. Although I guess I could. Oh no, I didn't get. I guess I could have gotten Herbert for the Lad McConkey stack. I didn't think about that, but man,
All right, I will pull the trigger here. I got to put my money where my mouth is.
All right, who do we like better in Dynasty? This is an interesting one. Jacobs or Barkley? I think it's pretty close.
Oh, definitely Barkley. I mean,
definitely Barkley.
Oh yeah,
man.
Hold on, let me see who
I mean, I probably do slightly prefer Barkley, but I don't know about definitely Barkley. Probably slightly Barkley.
Yeah, I know there's a lot of parallels here, right? Both are going to a new team. Getting paid finally. With Jacobs, the concern is he's been banged up here and there. He's got a lot of touches under his belt. With Barkley, the concern is he's had serious injuries, right? Year he missed. And I don't know. I just feel like Barkley has a little more juice left in him. I feel like he's less volume dependent maybe than Jacobs. And I know I like his offense situation better. So Dynasty, long term. I also like the fact that, whereas in Green Bay, they did draft a potential replacement there with Lloyd, and Philly didn't really do that. So, yeah, I'm going to prefer Barkley.
And then Kevin wants to make sure we know he does not consider tournaments to be polygamy for the record. Well done.
See what you did there, League.
Well
I mean, that's pretty
done.
good.
Well done. The more the better there. All right. Well done, Kevin. Well done.
Yes.
All right.
The better.
John, another Dynasty question from John Smith. Justin Herbert and Nico Collins for Mahomes. Is this one QB? I guess this is one QB because we just rated your team. It's one QB. So in one QB, you want Herbert and Nico, or you want Mahomes?
Do you have those 3 receivers just on your bench? And this is a 12-team league?
Yeah, remember his receivers were stacked. He had like Garrett Wilson, AJ Brown, Chris Olave, and Drake London. His wide receivers were ridiculous.
Let's say your bench receivers are ridiculous. That's I think in Dynasty, this would be better if I felt like I was getting, instead of Mahomes, not that he's old or anything, if I was getting somebody just a little bit younger. I don't think it's unfair, but I don't know if this gives you a massive advantage. I don't know.
Well, I was going to say, I think you're overpaying a bit for Mahomes, but based on your team, I'm doing it. Because again, when we pull up your team, like the one thing I said was like, your quarterback's kind of weak. You have Breece Hall, Etienne, AJ Brown, Garrett Wilson, Mark Andrews, Chris Olave, Drake London. Not to mention, you'll still have Malik Neighbors and George Pickens on your bench. Like, yeah, I think it's an overpay. But now your team is absolutely stacked top to bottom. I mean, you're talking, where is your team weak? I don't know. So I feel like it's a kind of overpay I'm willing to make because it'll assuming, of course, you don't get ravaged by injuries, you have a very, very, very high probability of winning your championship.
Yeah, I think it definitely improves your team because Mahomes is an upgrade over Herbert. Yeah, that's crazy. Nico is kind of like he got throw-in for you. Man, your receivers are stacked, but that's good. That's what you want. That's how you want it. So honestly, what I would do is I would probably see if I can trade Herbert and Neighbors for Mahomes and something else. I don't know if you can get a first rounder, maybe not, but at least a couple of second round picks or maybe a second rounder and a player. Because I think I honestly would rather have Nico than Neighbors because, yes, I'm not worried about the Giants situation with Neighbors. But, yeah, I mean, you could do this. Obviously not going to hurt your bottom line, but see if you can get something else thrown in at least. I always like to squeeze a little bit more out of trades.
Yeah, I mean, look, you could. It doesn't hurt to counter with something, and if they say no, if it's me, I'm taking it. I mean, if you want to try to squeeze a little more out, go for it. But again, you're talking about you're going to have a team of Patrick Mahomes. Who was it? Was it Breece Hall and Travis Etienne with AJ Brown, Garrett Wilson, Chris Olave, Drake London? What was this team again? This team was like ridiculous. Yeah, Breece Hall, Travis Etienne, AJ Brown, Garrett Wilson, Chris Olave, Drake London is your flexes with Pickens and Malik Neighbors as other potential flexes. Mark Andrews is your tight end. Mahomes is your QB. Like, Mahomes is just going to be so much better than Justin Herbert this year and probably for the next 5+ years. I mean, he's still not even 30 years old. He's a QB. Like, he's the soon to be GOAT. Like, I remember the first Dynasty league I ever did. I drafted Tom Brady as like my QB 2 or 3 because he was like in his mid-30s or whatever it was, and people were like, I don't know how many more years Tom Brady has. And I was like, well, if I can get a couple more years, that guy was on my team for like ever. QBs can play. I'm not worried about that. I'm taking it. I'm taking Mahomes and winning the championship.
I could be wrong. I'm pretty sure that Brady's like a forever outlier. How many quarterbacks are still going to be like leading the league in passing when they're over 40 years old? Maybe Mahomes.
Patrick Mahomes might be one.
Maybe.
I mean, he's an outlier.
Yeah, well, that's true. So, yeah, that's an insane team, though. That's pretty good. All right, Mystic Flame also wants a rating here. You just made your pick, right? You got Corley?
Yeah, I got Corley.
14 team, and it's super flex. So we're getting deeper here. And tight end premium. Okay, so Caleb and Herbert and Kyler and Purdy. Well, it's nice to have 4 starting quarterbacks in a super flex.
Great.
14 team. Yeah. JT Chuba. Okay. Neighbors T, Addison, Ladd, Leggett, Dotson, Musgrave, Levis. And you have a 5th starting quarterback. Yes.
Yeah. So quarterback's obviously fantastic. I mean, just fantastic. JT, great. Still good in Dynasty. Wide receivers are okay. I would like to be better at wide receiver. I'd probably prioritize that even over like upgrading Chuba, even though I don't know if Chuba is your RB2 is going to cut it all year. I would just trade whatever QB got me the best return for the best wide receiver I could get. Like, because like I think I'm guessing Kyler probably valued the highest. I'm guessing. Maybe some people are rookie crazy and like Caleb the best. I know Justin Herbert's taking his stock has dropped a ton in Dynasty, and I still think people view Purdy as like can he really keep doing this? Right? I think that's how people think about Brock Purdy. Like, can he really keep doing this? So I feel like Kyler probably has the most value, so he's the one I'd be trying to trade, because even having Caleb, Herbert, and Purdy is still great at QB and Superflex. But I'd be looking for like a true stud wide receiver in return. Like, I mean, you're not going to get CeeDee Lamb probably, but like, like a really good high-end young dynasty wide receiver. Like maybe somebody like, let's see here. Like let's look at some recent like Kyler Murray trades. And I'll just do PPRs. Am I up? Let me make sure. No, I'm 6 picks away. Okay. So like some recent trades. Why isn't it? Okay. Okay. Can I do assets in the trade? Let's try this. Let's see. Why are all these trades are like QB for QB? What's going on here? I don't know.
You should be able to trade. I mean, it's a 14-team league and it's super flex, and you somehow have hoarding 5 starting quarterbacks. There's going to be multiple teams out there that need a quarterback. I really think right now you might be able to get the most out of probably Kyler Murray, but also Caleb is probably a close second.
Yeah.
But you never know. Sometimes in certain leagues, there's somebody who's that 49ers fan who might believe in Brock Purdy, or maybe they have, maybe they have Debo or Ayuk and they want that combo. So like you said earlier, Chris, it's just who can you get the best return for, who's actually interested in, player X. I mean, I don't know if there's a player there that you're like, no, don't trade this guy no matter what, because you don't have Mahomes, you don't have Stroud, or anybody like that.
Right.
So
yeah, I would just send a message in your league and say, hey guys, I got 5 QBs. I really need a wide receiver. I'm willing to trade any QB for a high-end wide receiver. And just see, because you never know. Like you said, somebody might be like, Caleb Williams is going to be the next Mahomes. I'll give you whatever for him. Or somebody might be like, yeah, I love Brock Purdy. Yeah, you never know. So I would just put that out there, but definitely do that.
Yeah, there you go. All right, let's fly now.
And then Gregory's starting to look at keepers. You like JT in the 4th, Olave in the 8th, or Laporta in the 10th? I know where I'm going. Where are you going?
Let me try to make this desperation pick, and then I'll tell you. Okay. Okay, so Gregory, let's see. JT in the 4th, Olave in the 8th. Man, Laporta in the 10th. So you only one? We're only picking one? Or are you just asking in general?
I think he's just picking one.
Pick two. Sorry, it says down here. I just saw it. Pick two.
Oh, well, that's even easier then.
Okay. Are you going with the non-running back here?
Yeah. Like JT in the fourth is good value, but we're talking about like a 2-round discount. You're talking about like a 5 to 6 round discount for Olave and like a 6 to 7 round discount for Laporta. Just give me Olave and Laporta, and draft a running back in the first round if you need to.
Yeah, exactly. You just take the value. Not everywhere, but a lot of leagues, a lot of our drafts, Olave and JT are going in the same round, kind of neck and neck, aren't they? So you're just getting the much bigger discount. I know it's half PPR, but still, I'll take Olave over JT, and then Laporta in the 10th feels like a no-brainer. So, yeah, I'm with you. Those are the two. Clayton's saying he tried heavy RB. He never does that. I feel like you said that last draft when you hit heavy RB. Right? Now we're not going to rate the teams here. We usually don't because it's I know a lot of end game representation here, but half the teams are players we don't know. Usually we don't know. It's a little hard to break down. So
yeah,
we're doing this more for the strategic aspect. Getting to see what the values are here. Although now I wouldn't quite say dart throwing time, but we're about to enter round 17. It's, I guess, get your guy who you think might do something in a given week. So I guess, Chris, do you change your strategy here with your last couple of picks any differently than you would in a Best Ball Mania or a different tournament? The weekly winners, are you doing anything different or not really?
No, I'm looking for those guys, home runs, potential huge weeks. That's it. I have some guys that I kind of like. I like in these last couple rounds.
All right, let's see who you like. OBJ got taken.
Nope. Yeah, he's not one of them for me.
It wasn't on your radar.
Not on my radar. Although you don't want to have zero. You don't want to have zero. Just in case.
I don't. I actually did take my first OBJ share the other day. I will say I have zero CEH shares. I'm not sure if that'll change.
Yeah, I'll have zero of him. He's a guy I'll have zero of. Or maybe like one or two drafts. I'll draft him, but
yeah, I mean if you're maxing, okay, fine. You can have one of your teams can have a share of a guy. Maybe even Cordero Patterson. Who knows? Go crazy. Yeah, I'm just trying to add to the old queue here because it'll sneak up. These last two rounds seem to fly by pretty quickly. All right, you're up.
I'm up. I'm going to get my last running back here.
Nice. That's always good to get back up with some upside. Handcuff.
Wow. Demarcus Robinson's already been picked. His ADP has gone up quite a bit.
Wow, I just got sniped on DJ Chark.
Wow. I used to get DeMarcus Robinson was like one of my favorite last picks. Not anymore.
Yeah, I know. And there he goes. Got some sharp drafted. Wait, who took him?
Oh, Miguel, that's why. Miguel took him, that's why.
We know who's in this draft. That's why. It's going to be one of our guys.
I'm going to have to do some non-streamed drafts. Otherwise, I'm never going to get any of these guys.
Exactly.
All right, I got 2 wide receivers queued up. Hopefully one of them makes it back to me, because I really don't see anybody else I like.
All right. There you go. Only in best ball do I take Khalif Raymond.
Wow. Khalif Raymond.
All right. Well, that's the squad. You got one more pick here. So you're gonna go
All right,
receiver.
well, they're both still on the board, so I'll get one. There's one I like more than the other, so hopefully he made it to me. He's been one of my favorite last round picks for years.
Nice. There you go. You got the giant discount. I took Wandale a couple rounds earlier. You got Slayton at the 18th. That's probably better value there.
Slayton, one of those guys, like, yeah, you don't want him like in your redraft league. But even last year, he helped me win our Endgame Dynasty league because he had that great finish this season. He always has those. He'll have those spike weeks.
Yes, he will have those spike weeks. It's funny now with the Giants, which you think of like the last thing you think of when you hear Giants offense is vertical pass game. But you feel now they have all of a sudden with Neighbors, and then like last year they took Jalen Hyatt and then Slayton pretty much are like, it's just a deep threat. It's like, is that all they're taking is just receivers who only know how to run like the 9 and just go deep and we'll check it to you, even though Daniel Jones can't throw it farther than 12 yards. It's like, what
exactly?
That's actually why I like Wandale, because he can sit there behind the line of scrimmage and just catch it and then do something with it. You know, he doesn't have to rely as much on the quarterback, like actually being accurate.
Yeah.
But Slayton does have some big weeks.
Yeah, I don't know. Wandale, like, what is a big week for Wandale? Like,
touchdown.
Yeah, that's it, right?
Take a screen to the house. That's his big week.
Yeah, that is his big week. All right, there we go. Our teams are in the books.
All right, weekly winners. Reminder: this is we've been doing some Best Ball Mania, of course, and we'll continue to do that. But weekly winners, slightly different, same format, pretty much rosters and all that. But you can win every single week. So let's see which week you think you're going to win. You got Jalen Hurts, and wow, I didn't even notice. We must have been busy talking. You took Deshaun Watson. Again, a lot of debate on Deshaun Watson in one of our dynasty leagues this year. Let me just ask you this randomly. I don't know if you saw all that chat. No. In his Superflex dynasty, Deshaun Watson plus Quentin Johnston for a first round pick next year, what would you take?
Man, do we have any idea where the first might be?
Not really. Probably. Let's just assume like middle of the pack.
Middle of the pack.
Maybe it's a decent pick.
If it's like a top 5 pick, I'll probably take the pick. If it's not, I don't know. Maybe just Deshaun and Quentin Johnston. Maybe.
Okay, it's not lopsided either way.
No, I don't think it's lopsided. Certainly, it's not lopsided.
All right. Just curious. Yeah, that went down. Okay, so, but look, weekly winners. Hey, Hurts and Watson, and then let's see what else you got. Brees. Oh, you got my boy Zeus, Singletary, Marshawn Lloyd, and then Gibby and Pierce. All right, you like that receiver room, especially since you kind of went anchor RB.
You mean the running back room? Yeah, I do. I mean,
running back room. Sorry.
Yeah, obviously, Brees will carry me, hopefully, and then I just need to mix and match those guys. And I got some handcuffs that could also have some standalone value, like Lloyd and Gibson, and maybe even Dameon Pierce. So yeah, I like it.
I think Lloyd's going to wind up being a pretty good pick in some of these formats. I'm coming around on him. All right, then we got Olave, Flowers, Terry, Ladd, JSN. I feel like that's great value for him. Dotson, Corley, and Slayton. What's your favorite pick there?
I got to be JSN. I haven't drafted a lot of JSN, but at pick 104, I got JSN at pick 104. Give me that all day.
Crazy. Yeah. All right. That's nice. Ton of weekly upside. That's exactly what you're looking for. And even a guy like Dotson might pay off handsomely in this format. And then Pitts and Goddard, talked plenty about Kyle Pitts already. Very solid. When you take your 2 tight ends, around that range, I wouldn't say super early. I feel like you got a good value on Pitts too, but you don't really need a third. All right. Love and Herbert. I debated a third quarterback. It's hard for me to talk myself into a third quarterback unless I really wait. Do you think I can get by with those 2 quarterbacks?
I think so. I think you may not. You may have some down weeks at QB because if there's a week, where like neither of them are great, right? Like I don't feel like these guys like there's going to be weeks where both of them are bad on the same week, probably, or maybe just okay on the same week. So yeah, you may not have you may have some down weeks at QB, but for sure in this format, I mean, look, in the weekly winners format, definitely you can get by on those 2 for sure.
Yeah, I don't have a lot of love, but I do know that from anything from last year, he had some down weeks, especially first half of the season. But when he had a good week, he had a good week. He does have those spikes. And definitely. Herbert, there are going to be some games where the defense lets down and he has to throw it. And we know he can sling it. So not my favorite. But look, I didn't want to reach on Stroud early and quarterbacks got taken earlier. And when you're at the turn, you kind of have to make those tough choices. But then went Gibbs, Walker, Javonte Ford, Vidal, and Tank. Thoughts on that?
Solid. I mean, obviously Gibbs should carry you. Walker and Javonte, I think, will be okay. Ford, I think, especially early in the year, I think his ADP is going to start going up when people start realizing Nick Chubb isn't going to be ready week 1. We're going to see his ADP go up. And then obviously Vidal. I think Vidal could be another guy that's going to be one of those late round guys that's going to surprise this year and Tank a good handcuff. So definitely solid there.
All right. Then Harrison. Don't have a ton of Harrison, right? DJ Moore, Devontae Smith, Kirk, Watson, of course, to pair with Love, Wandale, and Khalif Raymond. I do like my upside here.
Definitely like your upside until those last 2. I just don't know. I think your first 5 wide receivers are fantastic. Like exactly what you want in this format. Just oozing upside. Well, I don't think of upside when I think of Wandale Robinson or Khalif Raymond.
No love.
I think of
Khalif Raymond. Anyway, Josh Reynolds gone. Someone's got to get those deep balls that go uncaught. Well, anyways, that's fine. He was my last pick. And then it ended with 3 tight ends. We talked plenty about Bowers. I really don't have a lot of Bowers. In fact, I think that might be my second Bowers share. But I backed him up with Musgrave to pair with Jordan Love and Juwan Johnson. I know you like him as a kind of a deep sleeper at tight end too.
Yeah, and certainly I think when you have Bowers and Musgrave, like it's fine taking a third tight end here. And you got Musgrave also to stack with Jordan Love, so that's nice. So yeah. Overall, I mean, a very good team.
But not perfect. You know what? Means we got to do it again. Gonna get another weekly winners in under the belt. I already got some slow drafts going. Guys, you don't have to draft live. You can do a slow draft if that's your thing. Just join right now. And it's pretty easy, $10 entry. So, of course, when you sign up for Underdog, already you're getting that bonus cash. Just make sure you use the promo code of Endgame if you haven't already. All right, we'll do this again. Maybe check out next week. We'll probably do a Best Ball Mania or switch it up. They might even have another new contest. Who knows? There's always something new in Underdog. That's the great thing. Yep. All right, guys. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next live stream. If you haven't already, hit notifications bell so you know exactly when we're going to go live.